Yep. Now, I'm going to move on to my Kindle. This is a Kindle Fire HD 7-inch. So, it looks like this, and I love this thing. I use it every day, pretty much, when I'm at work. Right now, I mean, it's more I mean, it's more than just reading. I have, like, Skype and shit on here. But, I'm the type of person that likes to read more than one book at a time. I know that's bad, but, like, for instance, I'll stop in one, like, sometimes I can't help it. Like, if I'm reading a book and then all of a sudden a book come out that's from a series that I read, then I'll have to go pick it up and I'll have to read it. So I'll stop whatever I'm doing just to get that book. You know what I'm saying? If it's a really good book, especially if you're already invested in the series, and you kind of have to know what happens next. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes I'll just get bored, or sometimes books have like a up and down thing. So everything kind of cooled off in the book, and I kind of like, oh, I'm so bored. Let me go do something else, and I'll read that, and then flip back and forth. Or if I'm almost done with a book, then I'll start another book, so kind of ease into it. So right now, I am reading 3 different books. I'm reading Divergent by, I think, Veronica Roth. I think that's the author. I read a free sample of that on here, and I reserved it at the library, so I have to go get the actual book. So I've read at least like 4 chapters on the digital version, and then I'll read the rest of it on the paper version when I go get it at the library. So I'm reading that, and I'm also reading The Hour of Dreams, which is this book right here with the clock on it and the bow. This is a book by it's the last book in the Pace series, by Shalina Schwartz. Can you read that? Shalina Schwartz. I like that story a lot. It's basically about a guy who is immortal to some degree, and it kind of just, and he falls in love, but the girl that he falls in love with keeps dying. So, and it's figure out why. So, yeah. Hope I didn't give away too much. But if you've read the Immortals by Alison Noel, if you like that story, it's very similar to that. So, also I'm reading, and Divergent is kind of like Hunger Games. So if you weren't feeling the Hunger Games, you might not like this book. I haven't read, like I said, I've only read 4 chapters. So, I'm liking it so far, but I can't wait to see what happens. But basically, how in the Hunger Games, how they have different districts and people are separated, blah blah, and of course they have to go through their games. But I don't think Divergent's like that. But basically, people are separated by factions instead of districts. So you have to take like an aptitude test to figure out what kind of faction you're in, and once you choose a faction, you have to forsake your family, even if they are in a different faction. You can never see them again. And they have 5 factions. I can't remember the exact names, but they have like the Selfless, which is the one that her family's from, the Honest, the Fearless, the Peaceful, and something else. I can't remember shit. But it looks very promising, so I'm going to read that. And then lastly, I am reading Lyme Season, which is a Karina Hale book. This is the 4th book in the Experiment in Terror series. Looks like that. So if you were wanting this, I actually like this book series better than the Pace. I'm not knocking the Pace, but the Pace is kind of more of a serious tone kind of book. The main character in the Experiment in Terror series, her name is Perry Palomino, and she is fucking hilarious. That is my kind of girl. I can really relate to her. Like, I don't know, like, if she was a real person, we would get along famously. Like, she is really, I just like the way she was written. Like, her character, I really like her. I just can relate to her, and she's hilarious. So it's like you'll be reading, and then like It's fucking. It's like you'll be laughing and cracking up when you're reading this book. So, but you have to read the very first book, and it's on Amazon. If you don't have a Kindle, you can get a Kindle app on your phone. Just about every phone got it. At least I know Androids do. I'm not sure about iPad or whatever. Um, but they might have a bookstore that has something similar to that. And usually the editor sets a certain price for the book, so it's probably like across the board. Like if you have a Nook or some, are Nooks even around still? Because I was this close to getting a Nook too. I'm glad I did, because I think Kindle got a lot more shit than they store for free. Most of my books on here are for free. I have like 300 books, and I only paid for like a handful of them, and the rest of them are like free. They even have like 99-cent books. I think the most I've ever paid for a book is probably like $12, and that's because I really wanted that book, and I wasn't gonna, that was that one book that I had to stop everything for and read. That was the Bloodlines series. So if you've read if you read Vampire Academy, that's the spin-off series of that, and it's by who's that by? Damn. Rochelle Mead. I think it's, Rachel Mead or Rochelle Mead, something like that. Anyway, but this book, the first book is called Dark House. It's by Karina Hale. Karina is spelled Karina, and Hale with Halle, or Haley or whatever. And that book is, I think, either free or it's 99 cents. And the rest of the books are like $2.99, so you can't beat that for a book. And I think the series is not finished. They have I think 6 books, the 6 main books. Excuse me. And then they have little side story books like the novellas, and those are, I think, maybe $2-3. The books are not very expensive at all, so you can very easily accumulate all these books. Or you can go get the paperback if you're not really into digital, but you're saving so much money with the Kindle. So that's why, it took me a while to kind of get used to it, but now I can't read any other way. But I still do read paper books from the library or whatever. And you can even actually go in the library in here and get books. I've done that before. So, and I think there's another book coming out. It's like number 7 or something like that. But I've read a couple of the side stories, and it's really good. And basically, stories about Perry and Dex, and they go on crazy adventures, looking for ghosts and all kinds of like crazy paranormal shit. So it's hilarious. So I really, really recommend that book to you guys. Again, this one's called Lion Season, and I'll let you know how everything's like. If you want me to do like a book review on the series or whatever, just let me know. But yeah, but if you're wanting to see like all my books that I got, because this saves on so much damn space, let me tell you. Because what I like about the Kindle is the fact that these are the books that are on my actual device. I have Lion Season, the Pace, was it Hour of Dreams, A Different Blue, which is a book I just bought, and it was like $2. But they got good reviews on it. Some other book called Highland Song, which was free. I got The Edge of Never. Got this book called A Shade of Vampire. I got the Silver Linings Playbook, which was like $5 or $6. And I really want to read that. I got the Immortal Instruments sampler. Like you can sample a book for free, and you can see whether or not you like it. A lot of the books, they give you at least a couple of chapters, but some of these authors are stingy as hell, and they only give you like a couple of pages, which I think is retarded, because how you gonna know you're gonna like the book in a couple pages? But yeah, the Immortal Instruments, I'm not done reading that sampler yet. But the movie does come out in August, and I hear that girl from Mirror Mirror was in it. I don't even care for that movie, but and she was in Abandoned too. I didn't really, as much as I like Taylor, I didn't really care for that movie either. So I don't know I don't know, like when I saw a preview for it the other day, and I wasn't really impressed by it. So I mean, I heard the book series is really good, but then again, I don't know. So a lot of times when I read the book and I see the movie, I'm very disappointed because I'm very critical about my books. So I am going to finish that, and then depending on whether I like it or not, then I'll buy the full version or I'll go to the library. But the library queue is so long for me to even get that book. I think I'm like number like 80 on the list, so it'll probably be a lot quicker to get it in here. But yeah, so and that's just, these are just the books that are on my Kindle. My Kindle is 16 gigs of memory. And also, what's great with Amazon is the fact that it has a cloud. So I have all the books. Remember I told you I had like 300 books? Look at all this shit in my Kindle. See, I got like all these books. All of them. Just pages and pages and books. Books and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like lots and lots of pages of books. So whenever I can swap them out whenever I want. So if I want to remove a book off my Kindle and then put it in my cloud's always going to be there. So I'm not like erasing my stuff. Unless you really, really want to erase it, you can do that too. But like I can swap it out just and it's like you won't run out of memory. Like even if you don't have like the 32 gigs, you really don't need it, because I mean the cloud pretty much holds everything you could ever dream of, and it's unlimited from what I hear. So yeah, and I love this thing. So if you have a Kindle Fire or you have another e-reader device, let me know what kind of books are you reading, or just in general, if you don't even have a e-reader, just what kind of books are you reading? Because I am into like paranormal type shit, like sci-fi, vampire, bite your ass kind of stuff. Wolves, some ghost stories, just depends if it's not scary. I mean, this book, the Lying Season or the Experiment in Terror, is not scary per se. I mean, some of it is, but most of it's like funny. It's like a kind of comedy, kind of like. But I mean, there is some scary real shit though. But it's not, it's not too much to deter me from reading it. I like love stories, so it has to be like a kind of a love story, love triangle kind of stuff. There are some times where I'll step outside my box and I'll read something different, just kind of, not be so constricted. I did read the 50 Shades of Grey, and I don't know what the big deal is about that book. I'll just go see the movie when it comes out, because I know they're making a movie. I don't know, like, okay, Red Room of Pain, Christian Grey's hot. Apparently, he's into S&M. I'm not into that kind of shit, so maybe that's why I didn't like it. Some of it was pretty interesting, but I just couldn't get into it, and I didn't even finish it. I think I was like almost finished. I'm like, you know what, really, Anastasia, really, and I kind of just said, fuck it, and I just stopped reading it. So, yeah. So I guess I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.